Hi guys, welcome to the Fourth Moment Weekly Roundup. My name is Shamiel, and with me as usual is Coach Andrew Pequeno. Andrew, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks. And you, Shamiel?
I'm good, thank you. A bit of a better day that we have today, not the wind of last week.
No, a lot less wind, eh?
A bit more flies around.
A bit more flies around. I don't know what's going on here, eh? Sure.
It's the area we're in.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a beautiful week this week. We had a lot of rain on Monday, which is good. Our soccer fields needed that rain, so it's good for all the community fields out there.
Yeah.
I didn't have to sit and use council water. You know, we've got a water shortage again coming up.
Yeah.
But no, it's a beautiful week this week. I see the weather's turning again come Friday. Heavy wind again forecast for the weekend.
Really?
But yeah, we played in heavy wind last weekend, so we're used to it.
Yeah. Guys, just before we start the show, remember to go to our YouTube channel. If you're not watching this on YouTube, go like and subscribe. And just get our subs up there. Right, what a good weekend of football we had. Let's jump right into it. We're going to hit first the ABC Motsepe A stream.
Things darting up in the Motsepe, both streams.
I tell you, yeah, I think even the third division, the log also, it looks, for neutral, it looks fantastic. And with games to come in the ABC Motsepe, who knows who's actually going to win these streams. Right, let's just look at the results quickly. We jump right into it. Obviously, the big match on Friday night. How was the crowd there? I know that we said there's probably going to be a lot of people there at Edgemead for Claywood versus Hanover Park.
Yeah, listen, it was a big game in Stream B on the weekend. It was a big crowd. The wind was, it was like a cyclone. But anyway, we had to cope with it. We played into the wind.
Yeah.
The result was 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
Yeah, we played.
Who scored first?
They scored late in the first half to go 1-0 up. We made a mistake at the back and they punished us. And then... second half, I thought we dominated. We had quite a number of opportunities to score. We equalized from a corner with about 20 minutes to go. And then, we just couldn't get the ball in.
Okay.
But listen, it's away from home. You got a point.
You got a point, yeah.
You're disappointed, based on the game that you think you could have won the game and taken all 3 points. I think all the other teams in the stream are happy with the result, with the draw and how it transpired. But listen, it's every game week coming up is a big one. It's another tough one for us this weekend, which we'll get to later. And FN Rangers, had a bye last weekend. They're now back on the road this weekend, so it's a big weekend coming up. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm happy with the point.
Good, yeah. And just realized now that we're actually busy with Stream B, so sorry about that. That's my fault there, but no problem. So carry on with the Stream B. Okanya and Wanderers, that was also a goalless draw, and that's a game one of them should have won also.
Yeah, they both needed 3 points. I think Wanderers more than Okanya. I think Okanya now are starting to pull away from the bottom two.
Okay,
it's basically looking like it's going to be between Wanderers and Royal Blues for that bottom spot, relegation spot. But Royal Blues also last weekend, they played Young Bafana away in Strand. They lost 4-1.
Yeah.
Good win for Young Bafana again. Coach Ashraf getting 2 good results in 2 weeks. Listen, Royal Blues in trouble.
Yeah. And then the other result also there's 6 goals in that match. Ubuntu and Battalions 5-1 win for Ubuntu. Ubuntu also doing well. Another goal fest there at Ocean View.
Yeah, I think the result was actually 6-1. It might have been. I heard it was 6-1, but it's a good result. Listen, Ubuntu, boosted their goal difference. Battalions had to travel far from Paarl to Ocean View. I think it's the furthest trip besides Beaufort that they're going to get to. Listen, I expected Ubuntu to win comfortably. They did. Battalions, they started off like a house on fire. They got quite a number of points now. They look relatively safe at this point. So, they're going to start to get back on the road. They're back at home this weekend.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah. And then just looking at the fixtures in Stream B in there, Battalions, just talking about Battalions, they got a big match coming up against Claywood at that late 5 p.m. kickoff at Pequeno Stadium in Paarl. So, it's any place you want to face Claywood, I suppose it is, though.
Yeah.
In a late kickoff.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for Battalions. It's gonna be tight. I still think Claywood will pip them. Yeah, I think they have the quality.
And then the other one there, Wanderers and Ubuntu, they playing obviously on Saturday. Also there 3 p.m. Obviously, I think probably Ubuntu will edge those guys there, the Wanderers, and then the Royal Blues and FN Rangers. That's going to be a good match, and that's going to take place at Rasdien Stadium in Beaufort.
So, FN got to travel. Yep. It's never easy going to Royal Blues. It's never easy going to Beaufort. We've been there. Yeah. It's not easy. Their last home game, they drew 1-1 with Ubuntu, which was a great result for them. They need the points. So they won't make it easy for FN, but I still think, FN FN have the power. Everybody looks at the log and they all think, everybody else has a chance. But I still think FN is the team to beat in that stream.
Yeah. And then also looking at the log there, top of the log, Young Bafana, 18 points. And then second, Hanover Park, 17 points.
Yeah, you
Also
set that up
play.
nicely considering the top two play each other this weekend.
Definitely.
So we got Young Bafana, Hanover Park versus Young Bafana at home on Saturday, 3 p.m. at Downberg Road. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for us. Young Bafana hitting the straps. So they quite a number of signings before the end of the transfer window. It's going to be, every game is tough, but yeah, Saturday will be a tough game.
Tough match,
it's first versus second. Whoever loses knows they're falling behind. So, both teams, won't settle for a draw. We can't. We can't afford to.
Got to go for a win. And then FN Rangers third spot, which Coach Andrew just said now, it's probably, with the matches coming up, they're probably still the team to beat. Ubuntu in fourth and concluding the top five there, Battalions in fifth spot. So yeah, like we said last time, probably the top four, probably going to get the winner of that stream there. And that's stream B.
Yeah, I think we just got to highlight Royal Blues and Wanderers. They're both on 4 points.
Okay.
They're both, I think Royal Blues are just above on goal difference. So it's big weekends for them this weekend. They got to start getting points.
And they both have tough matches to play.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at stream A there. Some of the results all of the results that took place over the weekend. We've got Pequeno Sundowns and I've got the Pequeno Sundowns and Houtbay. Yes, that match was played yesterday. Being on Tuesday, that was a makeup game, which was 1-3 won by Pequeno Sundowns.
By Houtbay.
What did I say?
Mbekwene. Good win for Houtbay away at Mbekwene. Night game in Paul, never easy. Houtbay are starting, you see when we look at the log later, they're starting to stretch out a little bit, got a couple of good results. So it's a big win. They had a good 6 points this weekend. Yeah,
and then the other results there, Houtbay winning Cape Town Spurs 2-0. Got that one right?
Yes.
And then again, the match of the weekend, Marty's beating Mbekwene 3-1.
Yeah, big result.
Yeah, and then the match with I was sort of looking at City Kings against Santos. Santos winning that game 2-0. Their coach Roger Fortune doing well there, and City Kings not being able to beat this giant.
Yeah, they couldn't beat this giant at home. I think City Kings look like they're a better away team than a home team. I know their home games are now at NY 116.
Yeah.
So it's a home away from home. I think Santos, like I said, Santos are tough to beat. The problem now is, they're 4 points behind Houtbay. They need some results to go their way.
Yeah.
They've still got to play Houtbay at home in the second round, Santos. So they're not out of it. Kapa had a bye last weekend. They're back this weekend. A lot of things can still change.
And then the final match that took place, that was on Friday night between Zizwe and Grassy Park. And Grassy Park getting a 1-0 win over Zizwe.
Good result.
Didn't expect that result to go.
It's a big result for Grassy Park. They needed the points just to start pulling away from the bottom two.
Yeah.
That was a big result for them. I never expected that result. I thought Zizwe were on a run. They were picking up a couple of wins at home, and now they've been jolted backwards again.
Yeah. Then just looking at the fixtures coming up, Cape Town Spurs hosting City Kings on Friday evening at
big game for Spurs. They need the points. Mbekwene are trailing off at the bottom of the table, but Spurs can't rely on that.
Yeah.
They got to just put their foot down and get the points at home.
And then Santos and Ikapa, that's on Saturday. That's going to be a good encounter.
That's the game of the weekend.
That's in Thornton. That's going to be a good match.
Yeah, that's effectively second versus third, so it's a big game.
And then Grassy Park and Mbekwene Sundowns. That's at William Herbert.
I think Grassy Park will win that.
Yeah, and then Marty's and Houtbay, that's also going to be a tough match.
Yeah, Houtbay going away, they've been away to Paul, they've been away to Stellenbosch, they're clocking the kilometers there and the petrol. But I don't know, I still think Houtbay are starting to hit their straps.
Yeah. I think Houtbay is slowly pulling away there. And it's up to Santos and Ikapa basically to catch them. So looking at the log there, Houtbay top of the log, 21 points. Santos with 17 points, so it's a good 4 points behind there. And then Ikapa sporting with third and Zizwe at 14 points. And just looking at the bottom of this one, Andrew, you said it earlier, and Pequeno Sundowns 3 points and Cape Town Spurs 7.
Yeah, listen, tough. It's going to be tough on Pequeno from here. If I look at the top, if Ikapa got a game in hand, they win the game in hand, they're only 1 point behind Houtbay. So it's a big game this weekend between them and Santos. Whoever loses that, and Houtbay get a result, it's going to be tough to catch them.
Yeah. Okay, then looking at the third division results. Okay, as usual, third division's always a lot of games being played. A lot of matches taking place there. So just looking at some of the results there, Cape Omoyo, which obviously the Gerald's Warner guys, throwing 1-1 with Woodlands.
Sure.
Goal 50 and Trinis 2-2 draw there. I suppose that's probably a case of drop points for Trinis.
Yeah, the top two from last weekend both drop points. Listen, it's never easy in Adefeld, to be
Yeah.
honest. Trinis, they drew, I think I was at the game earlier in the season, they drew away to Junction also at Adefeld.
Okay.
So, they've dropped 4
Tough
points
now.
in Adefeld. It's tough in Adefeld.
Yeah. Then another game match played there, FC Houtbay and Vasco 2-all draw. And then a good win there for Jomo Powers, winning 1-0 against Ocean View. Obviously, that does their campaign a world of good.
Yeah.
And then Premier United 3-2 against Jamestown.
Big
That's a
result.
good result there. And then obviously the match that took place on Sunday, one of the matches, Cape Town City and Cape Town United, which is Milano. I was thinking it's going to be more of a contest there, but Cape Town City running away 3-0 winners.
Yeah, Cape Town City at home is tough. It's tough. It's tough at Malta Park. Eh?
Yeah. And then, looking at the fixtures.
I think we need to touch on that big game from Friday night. I think
big game on Friday night?
Yeah, Silver Spurs versus Greenwood.
Okay,
we highlighted it last week. It was always, we always said Solo Street, Greenwood. Greenwood had a couple of setbacks over the last 3 or 4 weeks, especially at home. They had just lost to Premier 2-0 at home. They got the result in the last minute. They scored the winner to beat Silver Spurs 2-1. Knocking Silver Spurs off the perch, off the top of the log. Even though Greenwood lost 4 out of 6 games, they're back in it.
They're still in it, yeah.
But
that's the beauty of this whole league, man.
The third division, people don't realize how tough the third division is.
Yeah.
Getting a result, there's no result taken for granted.
Yeah.
But when you go on a run of 3 or 4 wins, you're back in it. You got 3 or 4 losses, you're out of it. So, even the teams at the bottom of the table, looks like Ocean View are in deep, deep trouble.
Yeah.
Invincible Craven have picked up points the last couple of weeks. I think they picked up 7 points in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're climbing up. Teams like Saxon Rovers, Woodlands, they got to look over their shoulders. Even Milano are in that relegation scrap there. And I think that's very, very tough. But if you can win 2 or 3 in a row, you can go into mid-table.
I'm sure all those coaches are sort of watching who's coming up next and ticking off where can they get the 3 points.
And on that note, there's some big games this weekend, especially the teams on the lower half of the table. There's some big games this weekend coming up.
Yeah, starting off there, Saxon Rovers and Jomo Powers. That's taking place actually on Thursday evening. We'll see what happens there. Cape Town City and Trinis also taking place on Thursday evening. And then the matches for the weekend from the Friday, Vasco and Milano, Cape Town United.
Sure.
That's going to be a tough match. And then Premier and Greenwood.
Yeah, that's a big game at Downburg Road, Friday night, 7:30. So there's 2 big games at Downburg. You can sleep over Friday night and stay for the Hanover Park versus Young Bafana game.
Saturday.
Premier beat Greenwood at Solo.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to stick it out there. And I'm going to say Premier beat Greenwood at Solo.
So let's see what
Greenwood's away record, their last home game, they did beat Vasco 1-0 away. But coming to Hanover Park's never easy. Premier on a roll.
Yeah.
I think Premier will edge it.
Let's see what happens there. I'm sure Coach Lionel's got a plan for United. And then the Silver Spurs, obviously the lock contenders, they are hosting Houtbay, FC Houtbay, also on Friday night at Hickory Road. And then looking at Trinis, playing against Cape Moyo, which is obviously JL Zwane, that's on Saturday. Some of the other matches there, Matruas, inconsistent season, playing Jamestown.
Yeah, both inconsistent.
Yeah.
I can't call that one.
Definitely not. Tough one. Jamestown results haven't gone their way of late. And then Ocean View and Invincible Cravenby. That, if Ocean View don't win that match, they could
listen, we know there's 17 games left. We know it's still a long way to go, but Ocean View need a win.
Yeah.
And they don't even, a draw is not even good enough for them. Invincible Cravenby, if Invincible Cravenby get 3 points there, then all the teams above them are dragged in. Yeah. It's a big game. Ocean View must win that
match. And then, not much matches taking place this week in the third division. Thank goodness. It's Junction and Jomo's is the last match. But that match is actually playing next week. So the weekend
Tuesday
matches,
night,
so that's basically the matches.
It's a quiet weekend for the third division. Yeah. I think the next weekend is a double header again.
Yeah.
But things will start hotting up. I think we're going to start seeing over the next 3 or 4 weeks. There's going to be about 6 games, and then we'll start to see who's going to be up there. But the log is very, very tight. Any one of the top 6 to 8 teams can win this.
How's that for Junction Rovers? Top of the log, 37 points from 17 matches.
Listen, Junction are a good team, and at home, like I told the viewers last week, we always struggled, going to Adefeld. They're tough.
Yeah.
And I think they've got that little edge this year where, they got the guys scoring goals. Before they might have struggled to score goals. This year, they're very solid. They're scoring goals. Yeah. Tough team to beat.
And then looking at the rest of the log there, I suppose we can say it's the usual suspects. Trinis in second spot. Silver Spurs down to third, but it's only 3 points behind the log leaders. And then with them also on 34 points. Greenwood back in it now after the win there. And then Vasco in 5th spot. And you're talking about the Greenwood Premier match. Premier win their match. They go 29 points. Also still close to the top 5 there.
Yeah, listen, Vasco dropped 5 points in the last 2 games. You know, they could have been top of the log, you know, looking at the log.
Yeah.
So they need to get back on track. And like I said, they got a big game. They're playing Milano on Friday night. It's going to be a tough one for them. But, you know, Vasco at home, yeah, I'd give them the edge.
Yeah. And then just looking at the bottom of the log there, just confirming what we're saying. Ocean View with 5 points, and then Invincible 11 points, and Saxon 14th spot. And yeah, Cape Moyo, JL Zwane 15 points in 17. No, 7. Yes.
15 points, yeah. And then we got Milano with 17, yeah. But
Yeah,
they've all
it's
played 17
confusing me.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's confusing
It's
you.
confusing me.
Now listen,
I'm having
at bottom.
yeah.
You know, you don't want to end up in the bottom
No.
2, and you might need to get out of the bottom 3 actually, because there could be a Safa Cape Town team relegated from ABC.
From the ABC Motsepe.
Yeah.
And then look, that's basically it on all the leagues. It's been a quickie today, guys. Tournaments. We know there's the Spurs Women's Tournament taking place this weekend at William Herbert. So if you're around there, go take a look. Also, we spoke about the Garlandale Tournament happening. So yeah, and besides that, obviously Bale taking place. Guys are, I'm sure, preparing for the tournament. And then all the other tournaments we mentioned, which we'll touch on next week again. Andrew, that was a quick one.
That was a quick one. Yeah, it was
That's
quick.
fine.
Yeah. We'll save all our talking for next week.
Guys, that's all from us for now. So before we go, we want to say thanks to Vecchio, our apparel sponsor, and be sure to go and support them in Beach Road, Maitland. And yeah, from my side, that's all. Till next time.
Cheers.